What's the deal, my people? Thank you for joining me in my channel, Panama's OG Truth. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me right now. And today, I have what I call a special attraction. Welcome to Panama's OG's Prison Chronicles. And you already know when you tune in with me, when you sit down and listen to what I gotta say, this shit is coming down the pipeline raw and uncut. Ain't no filter. I don't care how you feel, but what I'm gonna say is if you have any kids in the vicinity, in the area where you at right now, I suggest you to tell them to please step out, go get some ice cream, go play video games. I don't give a fuck what you do. Tell your kids to get out the way, man, because what I'm about to drop is some heat, and some kids don't need to be listening to this shit. So once I done got that out the way, let's get started. Beto 1, okay? Beto 1 is a maximum security prison in Tennessee Colony, Texas. It's probably about an hour, give or take, about an hour outside of Dallas, okay? And the reason why I say that, because once you get incarcerated in the state of Texas, I'm not speaking on the federal level, because when you're in the feds, they can shoot you anywhere in the United States of America. But when you're a Texas inmate, you within the state of Texas. So they could send you to anywhere in Texas. In Texas, it's a big ass state. It's the second biggest state in the United States of America behind Alaska. Okay? And back then, and when I say back then, I'm talking about in the early 90s, Texas had over 100 prisons that were operating. To my understanding, some of them prisons have been closed down. They don't have the manpower to open and run these facilities. So, but back then, like I said, man, early 90s, the prison business in Texas was booming. Prison is just a form of white slavery. Let's get that understood. And what I mean by that, they lock motherfuckers up for any little bullshit so they could have people working their land. In Texas prisons, you have cotton, cotton, okra, watermelon, you name it, man. Them motherfuckers grow it. And they have the inmates pick that shit. And one thing about Texas inmates, they don't get paid for their labor. It's not like some states where you work and you get X amount of pennies or whatever. Texas don't pay you. They have a bullshit ass system, and I've explained this before. A bullshit ass system called the good time system. So if you go without any trouble, any type of cases or whatever for X amount of time, you get good time credited. And that supposedly helps you get out, from your sentence at an earlier time. That's only for people to have non-aggravated crimes. Just let me say that. For example, like me, I had a 20-year sentence. If I wanted to get out, on parole, I had to do at least 10 years just to see the parole board. And that was my case. I would end up doing 12 on a 20-year sentence. Okay? And that's just the way the laws are in Texas. I don't know about now. It's been almost probably 20 years that I've been out the penitentiary. Damn near 20 years. So a lot of things have changed. So excuse me if I'm not, right on point on as far as the laws go. But like I said, I've been out that bitch already for years, man. So I don't know. I'm telling you when I was in the system. So Beto 1, maximum security penitentiary, over 3,500 inmates in the building. And when I say in the building, they have like a trustee camp right outside of the main building. That's for the people that are S2s. So if you in there and you behaving and your crime allows you to have that S2, to each his own, Me personally, with the type of crime that I had, I couldn't have an S2. The highest that I could go was an S3. So they kept me inside the building. And it didn't help that I had a STG, security threat group, stamped on my files. And for those that don't know, if they feel like you're a security threat, if you're gang related, if you're causing any type of damage to the administration, you're labeled as a STG, security threat group. Okay? So I couldn't have no jobs. Alright? I was straight up, let's isolate him, keep him in a wing with a bunch of gang members. He can't be out here with the regular inmates, in the kitchen, in the laundry area. And that's where it brings me to today. Alright? We're gonna talk about the laundry. Okay? And for those that been on Beto, you already know you got the South Side, as they call it, the White House. The South Side is for people that want to do their time, kick back, work. get the little chief on, the little drink on, flirt with the female officers. It's more laid back, more Cadillac, okay? I'm not saying the motherfucker won't bust your ass in the South Side. I'm not saying that. But you don't have as much rah-rah. You don't have as much as, you know, motherfuckers fighting behind domino games or fighting because motherfucker scored a touchdown and motherfucker talking shit and they didn't like it and they over there fighting. It's not so much like that. It's more laid back, more slow. So if you want to do your time cool, calm, and collective, you want to be on the South Side. Now, I never had the privilege to be on the South Side, okay? I was on the North Side. And to be exact, M-Wing, okay? And for those that know about M-Wing, you already know, man, gang infested, all right? It's a gang infested cell block. You have a lot of reputed gang members there. So, me personally, I didn't mind that shit. To me, when I was around, you know, my peers, I always felt like, you know, it was more respect. Everything ran more smooth. And if there was a problem, we had the core right there. We could handle it. We could take care of it. Nip it in the bud, as they say. Prison politics. Okay? But back to the fucking laundry. So, you had a captain in the laundry area. He's the one that was in charge of the laundry. And like I said, if you've been on Beto, you already know what I'm talking about. You have a guard, a CO. He mans the door to the laundry area in the main walkway, like the main hallway. So if you want to get in the showers after your wings been ran, because they run every single wing like clockwork. You know what I mean? When it's shower time, they're calling shower. People going in there, you know, a couple of minutes, soaping up, getting out, and you have a window where you stand in line, fresh out the shower, soaking wet. If it's cold, they got that cold ass fucking vent blowing on you. You open that bitch cold in a bitch. All right. So you get to that window and you tell them what size. Size of boxers, you know, shirt, pants. It's a roll, okay? You have your underwear with your socks, and you have your pants and your shirt, your whites. It's rolled up in your towel. So they hand that to you after you tell them. So you might say, you know, for example, me, you know, I'm a extra large. So you tell them extra large, they give you an extra large roll. So that window in the laundry area is ran by inmates, people that are doing time just like you. And somewhere around there in that laundry area, and the same thing with the kitchen, you have a sergeant and then you have the captain. So 9 times out of 10, the person that's running the day-to-day operations is gonna be the sergeant. You really don't see the captain. You do see it, but he ain't gonna be sitting at that window, or she ain't gonna be sitting at that window passing out no motherfucking laundry rolls, okay? And the sergeant, he'll stand behind the person that's doing that just to make sure you're not giving away, you know, extra clothing, you know, all kinds of shit, man. People over there passing cigarettes, passing weed through the motherfucking laundry window. But I remember the first time that I went in that laundry area and I saw nothing but fucking homosexuals in that bitch. And when I say homosexuals, in the penitentiary we call them punks, okay? And I was like, damn, like, ain't nothing but fucking punks up in that bitch. So, come to find out, if you weren't even a punk, the possibilities of you getting a job in the laundry area were very, very slim. And let me explain. The captain, and I'm not gonna say the real name, because I don't know if he's still in the system. I don't know if he already retired. Like I said, it's been a long time that I've been in the penitentiary. So we're gonna say Mr. Johnson. That's a common last name, okay? We're gonna say Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, he was the one that was pretty much in charge of who he was gonna have working in the laundry area. So when you look around, when you go up to that laundry area to get your roll and you see nothing but homosexuals that are handing you your rolls of laundry or whatever, it's like, you know, you got number punks up in here. And look, I'm not bashing on the punks. If you like dick, more power to you. That's not my business. Alright? I'm just telling you what I saw. What I saw. And what I saw was nothing but punks. Homosexuals working in the laundry area. Like I said, if that's your cup of tea, that's on you, man. I don't give a fuck about your sexual preference. Okay? Now, everything that I'm telling you guys is what I saw, what I literally experienced. And this could be from, let's say, my cellmate. My cellmate, he was a big old And when I say big old, he probably about 6'3", 250 pounds. Big old black ass motherfucker. Cool little motherfucker from West Dallas. Shout out. You already know who I'm talking about, man. You out there, much love, baby. Hopefully you out there handling your business. Alright? But he was one of those dudes, man. He had I want to say like a 50-year sentence. He already had been locked up about 25 years. Okay? Like I said, I don't know if he's out or if he's still locked up. I don't know. But he worked in the laundry. And he used to tell me that the majority of the people in that laundry area were homosexuals. And I didn't believe it until I saw that shit that day. Like literally, I paid attention to what was going on as far as who was working in there. Now, this captain, he had a wife. And the wife, she also worked in the prison. Okay? And this is common, y'all. When I say it's common, for spouses, couples, brothers and sisters, or moms and sons working in the penitentiary. The majority of these prisons are built and housed in rural places in Texas. Like, you're not gonna see them in the city. All right, they're usually in the country, in the outskirts. Okay, so these are small towns, and when I say small towns, I mean the population around it, man. Everybody know themselves. Like I said, they're either related or they know who the fuck you are. You know, especially if you're born and raised in that area. So everybody in that area, you know, now has changed. You got a lot of people that are coming from the Dallas area to work over there. So you have a lot of traffic going back. But back then, like I said, the little towns like Palestine, Tennessee Colony, a lot of people from them towns were working the prisons. And in that area, man, you got Coatfield, you got Michaels. Then they built a trail facility called Gurney. Yeah, so that area right there, it's infested with prisons. It's a penitentiary land, all right? So it wasn't rare to see couples working in the prison. So Mr. Johnson, he was the captain in the laundry, and then he had his wife. And she was what you call a field boss. To get technical, she was a high rider. So you got the field boss, the COs that think they're fucking cowboys. They want to be cowboys, all right? They got their little spurs on. They wear the cowboy hat. They ride horses, and they're the ones that are in charge of the field squad, okay? The ones that are out there picking cotton, you know, with the Aggie hoe. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about, man. If you in the penitentiary in Texas, you know what I'm talking about, okay? Motherfuckers going in fields, and you gonna work. Like I said, picking cotton, watermelon, whatever, okra, all that shit. White slavery, that's why I call it white slavery. But you work in Texas prisons. That's just the way it is. So she was a high rider. She was a field boss, okay? And when I tell you, she wore her fucking pants tight. And when I say tight, she would stick her fucking hands in her pockets and jack her uniform pants up even more so you can see that print. And I know a lot of people will be like, man, this motherfucker's exaggerating. You talk to anybody that was incarcerated around that time. Like I said, I don't know if she already retired, if she's still in the system. She could be dead. I don't know. It's been damn near, like I said, 20 years that I ain't been in the Texas system. Thank God. I'm a free man enjoying my freedom. And she was one of those that she liked to get her freak on with certain individuals. And this shit happens all the time, okay? Don't think that this shit doesn't go down. Because when I tell you it goes down more than what the average citizen thinks it goes down, okay? And you have a lot of female officers, COs, in the prison system that out here in society, motherfuckers won't even pay attention to them 2 minutes. No exaggeration, no disrespect. These are women with low self-esteem. They've been verbally abused, spiritually abused all their life. So their self-esteem, their get up is broken. They don't have too much going in that department. Their looks might be mediocre at best. Some of them are just flat out ugly. You hear me? Like, it is what it is, man. But when you in prison and you a man and you locked up and you used to getting pussy, anything you see that resembles pussy, female CO, you gotta shoot at. You gotta get, you wanna get your rocks off. That's just the way it is. It's human nature. That's how a man carries himself. especially a man that's used to fucking when he wants to fuck, and all of a sudden you're in a controlled environment. It is what it is. So she would literally, and when I say literally, put her pants, like jack them up so you can see what she was working with. And when I say she was working with a fat ass camel toe, no exaggeration. So she liked the attention. That's what I'm trying to get to. She liked the attention. And you have motherfuckers that watched it, paid attention to that shit. So she was one of those female officers, COs, that she had her select group of convicts that she preferred to do a certain job for her. So if she wanted, they were building a little brick sidewalk on the prison grounds, okay? And they asked the field boss to pick out a couple of convicts on a certain wing that could go out there and help out with laying these bricks down for this little old road. She would go on certain blocks and pick the convicts that she wanted. Like I said, that was her task at the time. So her MO, she like big old tall, black ass, bald headed convicts. That was her cup of tea. Like I said, my cellmate, he was one of them dudes that fit that description. Alright? Shout out, man, West Dallas. And she didn't hide it. And when I say she didn't hide it, she would go on the cell block and she would pull out, let's say, 2 or 3, alright, to go help her out. And all of them would be tall, bald-headed, black-ass motherfuckers. And that's what she liked. And when I say that she liked, she would get like literally 2, 3 motherfuckers that run trains on her. Like I said, busting her down. You hear me? And the reason why I know this, because my cellmate ended up being one of them dudes that she was fucking with. And at first, I kind of had a little idea. I kind of had a little suspicion about it, because she would come to the cell every chance she would get to talk to my cellmate. And one day, my cellmate, he's over here telling me about we're about to eat some free roast steak. And I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here, man. What you talking about? He said, yeah, man, Miss Johnson gonna bring me some steak. Now, I remember we were on lockdown, so that's even harder. Well, it depends. But Miss Johnson brought us some steak. And when she dropped off the steaks on her front cell, I remember what she said. She said, I'll be back later on to pull you out to take a shower. So, we're on lockdown, like I said, man. Keep that in mind. There ain't no movement in the penitentiary, okay? Only a select COs, only select convicts are moving around. So, sure enough, later on that afternoon, it was already nighttime, right before shift change, she came and got my cellmate. And supposedly, he was gonna go take a shower. So when he comes back, this motherfucker got a big old grin on his face, like Kool-Aid grin. And he tells me, he said, yeah, man, Miss Johnson a fool, dick sucking game off the chain. So you already know, man, he ended up handling his business, getting his thing, and I was like, fuck, man, like, her husband, he's the captain in the laundry, and he got nothing but homosexuals working in their punks. And his wife, she's a field boss, and she loved getting piped down. So I guess the husband wasn't giving her none because he was more interested in homosexuals, punks. And this theory would turn out to be right. And later on down the line, and when I say later on down the line, a couple of years later, he would get busted, caught having sex with some homosexuals in the laundry area. Alright? They walked in on his ass and he was getting his freak on. And when I say getting his freak on, from what they say, he was a willing participant. And it was crazy because it wasn't no secret what he was into. It wasn't no secret what his wife was into. So you had husband and wife working in the same prison. He was a captain in the laundry, and she was a high rider, like I said, field boss. And when I say high rider, she's the one that carries a 30-06 out there with the horse. So while you out there picking cotton, doing whatever you got to do in the field, if you try to run, she'll point that 30-06 at you and boom. That's her job. So she was well respected, man. And when I say well respected, by her peers, okay? Inmates, They just wanted to fuck. Alright? Like I said, she had her pick. She was like a little girl in a candy store. And that's what goes down in a maximum security prison like Beto 1. And a lot of y'all probably be like, damn, this motherfucker, he's exaggerating or whatever. But nah, man. And this ain't shit. This ain't shit. When I say this ain't shit, you got so many female officers that get caught fucking inmates. I mean, the only difference between Miss Johnson and Mr. Johnson, he was in there with a bunch of homosexuals. Like I said, he would get caught with homosexuals, with punks in the laundry. Whereas, I don't know if she ever got caught getting dick down or sucking dick or whatever, but everybody knew that shit, man. Everybody knew that. It wasn't no secret. And like I said, my cellmate, he confirmed that shit to me. You know, he was like, yeah, man, Miss Johnson, like, yeah, it's true. she a fucking head monster. But it was kind of funny to me now that I think about that shit. Like I said, man, a couple, husband and wife. And I ain't talking about no young bucks. These motherfuckers were in their 50s, late 40s, early 50s. Okay? So for this shit to happen and transpire, and now that I'm a free man and I think about these type of things, it's fucking crazy, but it's funny to me. And a lot of people, once again, they don't believe this type of shit happens. They think this shit is only in movies or you making this shit up. But nah, man, this is the truth. And many instances will go on, like I said, in the time that I was doing. And when I say different things, I mean female officers getting caught bringing in dope. That's another story. Female officers getting caught smuggling shit for inmates in the prison. Everything from cell phones to cocaine. Man, I done seen it all, man. I done seen female COs get into a fist fight on the motherfucking block behind an inmate. They both were fucking. And they throwing blows. Yeah, so a lot of shit happens in the penitentiary, man, especially when you're doing time in a maximum security prison like Beto 1. Beto 1 remind me of a ghetto Las Vegas. Alright? Best thing going on, the gambling. If you want to drink wine, you got your wine. You got your hooch, your inmate made wine, and then you got your free world shit. Like I said, I'm up in that bitch drinking gin and vodka. Yeah. The motherfuckers bringing us bottles, 7-Up Sprite bottles full of gin and vodka. That's the type of penitentiary Beto is. If you gonna do time and you into that type of shit, in other words, you ain't no fucking, I just wanna do my time and go home, bookworm type motherfucker, which to each his own. I'm not saying ain't no wrong with that. But when I was locked up, I was, more interested in doing my time the way I wanted to do it. So a lot of that came with it. And now, like I said, that I think about that shit, it's fucking crazy, y'all. Husband and wife. Captain in the laundry, he over here fucking nothing but punks. His wife, she a field boss, high rider, ride the horses and shit. That bitch would get off the horse and you can see that fucking print, like literally, and she knew it too, cause motherfuckers be staring. You know what I mean? She wearing them pants on tight. Bitch probably about 47, 48 at the time. Old freak, freakazoid. She letting 2-3 motherfuckers tag team her ass, dick her down. Yeah. So this shit was crazy, man. But this is, like I said, man, this is the penitentiary system. This is the type of shit that happens. This is nothing new. It's been happening before I got locked up, and I'm pretty sure it continues to happen. And like I said, I've been gone already, damn near 20 years. So this one right here, man, it's funny, but it's an eye-opener. It's an eye-opener. And when I tell you that, I'm going to go back to the vault. And when I say the vault, I'm talking about this. There's so many wild shit that I'm going to tell y'all, man. Believe me, man. Just kick back, enjoy the ride. I appreciate you giving me this platform. I appreciate you joining me today. My prison chronicles are strictly from my experience. Sometimes I might talk about other people, depending on the situation. And all I'm trying to do is enlighten you the best way possibly that I can. I'm not here to put nobody's business. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm past that. Like I said, it's all about enlightening my youth. Lacing them up and letting them know what type of world awaits. All right? Because that's what it is. It's a whole different world. Thank you for joining me. Till the next one, Panama's OG Truth. If you don't like what I said, I don't give a fuck. Hit them like buttons. Hit that subscribe button. That's the one I'm going to bring this heat to y'all. Panama's OG Truth.